Hi, how's everyone doing today? My name is Tyler Boyer. This is Bet with the Boys here for NGSC Sports. This is my co-host, Joe Germani, Ty Bean. What's going on, guys?
How you guys doing?
Good. Feeling good last week. Anything that caught your eye in week 6 after football? Anything games interesting to you guys?
Nothing really. I got most of my picks wrong.
Those big spreads. Nobody really covered those big spreads. That's what I realized after last week. That really shouldn't have taken it was due for. We were due for an upset week, honestly. For a lot of teams.
I think it was only two favorites won this week.
It was what the Texans won.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like the Falcons losing at home to the Dolphins. That's crazy to me. Like Dolphins haven't looked like much of a team. And the Falcons were in control of that game the whole first half too, and then they just stopped running the ball. Actually, they just threw the ball when they were up the whole game, and then they put the Dolphins back in the game, and ended up costing them. And they threw a pick late. That was interesting to me. Aaron Rodgers out for the year probably.
It's crazy.
Makes the NFC wide open, and I think it's going to be as anyone's NFC at the conference at this point, all the way from Eagles. You look at a team like the Saints are even involved. So I think it's interesting what's going on in the NFC. And last but not least, Adrian Peterson caught my eye. Had himself a day.
Wow.
Looked like his old self. 2 touchdowns, 100 and some yards. Had himself a great game. And the Cardinals blew out the Bucs. Well, they didn't blow them out. The Bucs made it close at the end, but they basically blew them out. And yeah, I thought that was interesting. I think it was a really, really interesting week overall.
Yeah, definitely.
Not the greatest week for picks, but hey, we got a winner though. Shout out to Gina.
Shout out to Gina. 2 weeks in a row.
Ty's got a girlfriend. His girlfriend's a winner, man. She's 1,000% for her career, 6 for 6. This week she took the Rams, the Bears, and the Texans. All had them all won outright, all covered. Solid work, Gina. Shout out to you. Put another one on the board. Ty's isn't there yet, but we'll have another one. So we got 8 total winners for this year. Actually, I have another one that's not even up there. So we're doing the thing, Not bad through 6 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, then let's find out how we actually did last week. It wasn't the greatest week for us. We all finished below 50% actually, which is not ideal. In last place, changing it up a little bit. My man Ty Beans won the past 2 weeks, but this week he finished with 5 points, went 5-8 against the spread. Didn't pick an over/under with 38% this week. Ty 27-23 for the year against the spread, 2-4 against the over/under. You're at 52%, and at 29 points for the year. And then at the top, it was a tie with me and Joe. We both had 6 points, only got one game above Ty. Joe went 6-7 against the spread, didn't pick an over/under either, which was kind of weird to me.
Yeah, it was kind of. I struggled with the over/unders at some point, so I figured, you know what, maybe I should give him a break, but.
It's all right. So now you're
at this week.
Now you're at 23 total points, 14-23 against the spread, 9-10 against the over/unders, at 41% for the year. So
working my way back, slowly but surely.
Up 11% from last week. That's progress right there.
We are making progress.
Only 6 points back from Ty. And then this week, me and Joe tied the top. I had 6 points as well. I went 4-6 against the spread, 2-1 against the over/unders, 46% for the week. And that puts me at the year a point behind Ty with 28, 16-17 against the spread, 12-11 over/unders, 50% for the year. So I'm definition of average right now. But Ty, you still got the cowbell, holding it strong. It's over in your corner for right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ring it too much because of the week.
Yeah,
But
had a bad week.
But still, that's our standings, weekly recap. Not bad, but we did learn some stuff this week. Which brings into our next segment that I like to call What I Learned. I think there's a few things that really just stuck out to me and that really just is going to help me for the future of betting. And I'm going to win some money off this week. So the first thing that I learned is the New York Jets aren't that bad. Coming into the year, everyone was talking down on them, saying 0-16. They're all talking about how bad the receivers are. But you know what? The Jets, they didn't play that bad against the Patriots. They were 3-2. They came, we even ourselves said they had 3 low-quality wins. But wow, at home, they went up 14-0 in the second quarter against the Patriots, trying to go 4-2 and take sole possession of first place. Then I think they all looked around and realized they were the New York Jets. They got to calm down. Brady and Pats got together. They ended up winning that game. But the Jets overall, they're not that bad. McCown's playing well, threw for over 300 yards again. He hitting guys like James Curley, Robbie Anderson, and Jermaine Kearse, turn them into players. Austin Servant-Jenkins had a kind of a rise the past couple weeks. And on defense, the secondary is playing pretty good. Morris Claiborne's playing really well. You got the Darren Lee's, the linebackers, playing solid for him. But the safeties, 2 rookie safeties this year, and Jamal Adams and Marcus May from both first and second round picks, been playing outstanding for him and really been holding it down for the Jets. And they made that game interesting last week. And if Servant-Jenkins' touchdown call didn't get overturned, it might be a look at a whole different game, and the Jets could be 4-2. So shout out to the Jets. I think they're definitely not that easy walkthrough game we thought they were.
I knew it. Honestly, I called it the whole way. They were like, no way that the Jets cover. But you know what? They almost lost that game. I'm so glad Servant-Jenkins, they overturned that play. I don't know why. I don't really understand the catch after that point. But you know what? We'll take it.
Remember, Joe said immediately after the show, "Why the hell did I take the Jets?"
I had a feeling it came on the podcast, and I was right.
All right. Another thing I learned this week is don't mess with the big spreads. Joe touched on that a little bit, but I was kind of like leaning this way. I was thinking about it all season. Like the favorites really haven't covered that much this year. It's been a lot of dogs, especially on the big spreads. And this week they put the theory to the test. Pats -9.5. They only won by 7. Didn't cover. Skins -9.5. They only won by 2. Didn't cover. Broncos 12.5. They lost the game straight up by 13. And the Falcons 12.5 lost by game 2. So that's 4 games right there with huge spreads that just didn't hit. And if you look out throughout this whole season, like any big spreads, Steelers -8.5 against the Jags didn't cover. Patriots -9 against the Panthers didn't cover. Patriots 13.5 against the Texans didn't cover. Steelers 7.5 against the Bears didn't cover. And the only games that Seahawks against the Niners 13.5 didn't cover. And the only 2 games that I saw that were big spreads that did cover were the Seahawks -12.5. And also this week there was one game that did cover, was the Texans -9.5 against the Browns. But still, you can just see that this elite year in the NFL, it's more of any given Sunday than we ever seen. And that if you're getting points, especially at home with this many points, take the team with the points. Because you've seen teams win outright a couple times. And the only 2 teams that have covered were the Seahawks, who are playing a really bad Colts team, and the Texans, who are playing the Browns, which leads into my third thing I learned this week, which is the Browns might go 0-16. They look pretty bad, and they've had their most winnable games already. They played the Jets, they played the Colts, they had the Bengals and the Ravens, 2 divisional games. One was at home, and they just have looked awful. Sean Kaiser is not the answer they've been looking for so far this year. Turning the ball over too much. They started Kevin Hogan last week. He didn't get it done. They got blown out against the Texans. Browns scored a late touchdown, but it was about a minute left, but I don't put much thought into that drive. The Browns look pretty bad. And on defense, they got a few pieces. They did stuff in the run. They're playing okay defensively. But their secondary, when it's all said and done, they don't have enough corners. And if they play any team with a little bit of offensive firepower, they're in trouble because they don't have the firepower to keep up with them. So things I learned, Jets are good. The Browns aren't. Let's take the points. Take the points. You guys learn anything else? Anything else you want to add that you learned about this week?
No, not much. I was kind of upset this week. I did not see a lot of the games going the way that they did.
The thing is, you can't be mad. We got a winner. We stole a winner from this week.
Yeah.
You learned a lot.
Too
Learned a lot about some teams. The Lions, I think I figured them out.
Yeah,
maybe. So that's what I learned this week. All right, let's get right into week 7 now. First game we had on tap is the Titans -5.5 at the Browns. Over under in this one's 46.5. I'll start out with this one. I just told you how I felt about the Browns. I'm not big fans of them. Don't think they're a very good team. And the Titans, they looked better last week with Mariota, especially in the second half. They got going. We saw Derrick Henry break free for that long run. But Titans, though, I'm kind of hesitant still just because Mariota isn't fully healthy. He didn't look great in the first half, and they kind of stole that game at the end. And I'm not convinced by them at all. The Browns have won 3 in a row against the spread against the Titans, which It's kind of like, wow, makes you think a little bit. So we could lean back from Titans. The under in this game has hit 10 of the last 14 times, 5 of the 5 last home games for the Browns, too. And Cleveland's 0-5 against the spread in the last 5, and the under's hit in the last 5 home games. All this makes me lean under 46.5 because you can't feel the Browns. To me, maybe with the points, it's probably the better bet because I'm not confident in the Titans. But the Browns are too bad of a team to bet here. So take the under 46.5. Not a lot of scoring. I think it's going to be a lot of running the ball, too. With Mariota hurt, they're going to try to protect him.
Yeah, I think the Titans are going to blow out the Browns. Like last week going into it, I saw the Texans were -9.5. They have one of the best offenses in the league. And I think the Titans are up there with Mariota when he's like back and threw for 300 yards last week. He looks like he's getting back into it. And against Browns, like he should have another big day. Same with Derrick Henry if DeMarco Murray can't go. I just think the Browns are just not a good team, and Titans are going to blow them out again.
It's just not a bad pick. See, personally, I think I'm with Ty on this one. I'm going to take the under at 46.5. I was thinking about this game, and what I realized, I think, is that see, we got our friend Nori out there showing off. I can't show it at the same time. Either way, I'm taking the under here. I think that the Titans. I think that they showed that with Mariota back, they can put up some points. But if you guys were watching that game, Mariota really did not come out of the pocket very much. He was just a straight pocket passer in that game because of his hamstring still being injured. I think if he's a little bit healthier, I can see this blowout. But personally, I think that the Browns have showed that they can run the ball, and if they establish enough of an offense, they might be able to keep this game close. But I feel way more confident in the under in this one. I just don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored.
I say we all circle our picks so we just have it together so there's no confusion on the picks. Last week, we all had a tie. We thought it was a tie last week because I was like, Ty, who you taking the Saints game? He was like, I took the Saints. I was going to take the Lions, but I said, screw it, I'm going to take the Saints. But actually, he said, I like the Saints this week a lot, but I've been wrong a lot, so I'm going to take the Lions. So we got to establish
Well, they're on a bye this week, so I don't have to worry about it. That's a next week problem.
Yeah, Lions are a head scratcher. All right, so, yeah, I got the under here. Next game, stay with the AFC South. We got Jags -3.5 at Indianapolis. Over under this one's 43.5. What you guys thinking here?
It's a tough game. I think I'm going to go with the Jags here, -3.5. I think that this Jags team they've been very inconsistent, which we've seen, but I think that they have a great passing defense. I think that if they can hold the Colts, I think they can win by 3.5 points. I think it's hard covering like this hardest spread to cover 3.5 on the road, especially for the Jaguars. But I think they have enough to get it done this week and beat the Colts because I don't think the Colts are that good, honestly. Even with the bright spots we've seen from this Colts team, I really don't think they're good enough to beat the Jags by 3.5.
Yeah, I agree. The Colts, their two best games have been both at home, but against two really bad teams in the Niners and the Cardinals. And I just don't think that Jacob Brissett's he's playing a tough secondary in Jacksonville. I don't think he's going to be able to throw the ball that much. And Jacksonville, they're 7-3 their last 10 at Jacksonville against the spread. They're 5-0 against the spread after a straight-up loss. And they're 5-1 against the last 6 on the road. So all these signs, and I think Jacksonville is probably the better team. And I don't like the matchup for the Colts at all. I really like the Jags -3.5 here.
Yeah, I think the Jags defense is up there. I think you would have to say like top 5 in the league, and I just think it's going to give Jacoby Brissett all types of problems. He's going to have no way to like find anybody with Jalen Ramsey and AJ Boye covering his T.Y. Hilton and everybody. I just really don't see the Colts being able to figure anything out, like even a run game, anything against the Jaguars. And I think the spread should be higher, but I like the Jags -3.5.
Yes, sir. Is that a consensus?
Mm-hmm. It is a consensus.
There we go. All right. Next game we got up is the Steelers -5.5 against the Bengals. Over under this one's only 41.5. What you thinking here, Ty?
I like the Bengals +5.5. I just don't think the Steelers with Big Ben, he is on his last leg of his career, and he really doesn't have the arm strength that he used to, and can't really throw the ball down the field anymore. So I feel like they've turned into like more of a game management for him, where they just run the ball a lot and there aren't going to be a lot of points scored. And I just think 5.5 is way too much. And the Bengals are going to be able to cover here. It's going to be a tough divisional game. The Bengals need it to keep their season alive. So I'm going Bengals plus 5.5.
I like the pick here. I think the Bengals with the points is probably the smarter pick. But something I read is both these teams rank first and second in passing day. And so I think that can be a lot of Le'Veon. They're not going to take any chances. Like you said, Big Ben's on his last leg. He hasn't looked great this season. And so I think you're going to see a lot of two teams trying to control the ball, a lot of defense. Steelers offense are ranked 22nd, but the Bengals are ranked second against the run. So they're going to try and shut down Le'Veon. They're going to be a tough matchup for him. And the unders hit 5 of the last 6 between these two teams. And I just think it's going to be a low-scoring defensive game. I like the under 41.5 here, even though it is pretty low.
Yeah, I'm with Ty on this one. I'm also taking the under at 41.5. I saw that the total has gone under in 5 of this last 6 games between these two teams for the Bengals and the Steelers, and that really made me want to take it. But I also saw that the Bengals has gone under in the 8 of their last 9 games. So they're really going under, especially off a bye. I think they're going to play a little bit tougher against the Steelers than normal. So I'm definitely taking the under at 41.5 here. I think in this divisional matchup, as we've seen in the AFC North, they just not a lot of points are scored. It's a very defensive-heavy game.
Shout out to the Steelers, though. They look. If anyone was watching last week, I feel like I had a pretty good grasp of that game. I felt like the low-scoring game, the under hit, and I actually predicted the Steelers to get the upset the night before. Ty was calling me an idiot. He was yelling at me. He had enough of it. But the Steelers they had like a very typical Pittsburgh game. You just grinded out Le'Veon, see a lot of defense. And it was a pretty close game, and I think you're going to see the same this week. So I would lean towards the Steelers, maybe not 5.5, but the Steelers to win the game and the under. So look at the Steelers maybe on the teasers. Oh, I need this card. Next up, we got the Vikings minus 5.5 all at home against the Ravens. The over under this one's 39.5. Thoughts? I mean, the Vikings coming off big win against the Packers, but without Rodgers, they're 4-2 now and control of the division. What do you think about the Vikes?
I like the Vikings here, minus 5.5. I was just looking at it, trying to convince myself that Joe Flacco could put any type of offense up against this defense, and I just don't see it. Joe Flacco is not an elite quarterback, and everybody's been struggling against this Vikings defense, and they're going to be at home. And Jared McKinnon's he's looked like the running back they need since Dalvin Cooks went down. That's why I like the Vikings here. Minus 5.5.
Yeah, I agree. If you look at some quick stats about the Vikings, they're 15-4 straight up and 14-5 against the spread as a home favorite. The Ravens are 3-7 against the spread. The last 10 on the road. They're 0-3 this year. And I just think the Vikings are just too much. They're ranked 5th in defense. They're 6th in rushing defense. I'm sorry, let me say that. Is 3rd against the run. And the Ravens are ranked 6th in the running defense with Buck Allen. And they've used Terrence West. I'm not sure if Terrence West is playing this week. But even still, with Alex Collins as well, there just hasn't been a lot of a consistent running game. And I think the Vikings shut them down. And I think they cover the 5.5. I think it's a pretty statement game for the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm with both the ties here. I'm taking the Vikings minus 5.5. I think the Ravens are facing a really tough matchup in Minnesota here. I think Minnesota's defense plays a lot better at home than it does on the road. So I think they're definitely in a quarterback like Joe Flacco, who's definitely he's definitely liable to throw a few picks. I think they're going to force some picks here. The only reason that I'm maybe thinking a little nervous about this game for the Vikings is because Stephon Diggs. If he doesn't play, then the receiving core goes down a little bit. Without Stephon Diggs, you still have Thielen and Kyle Rudolph, but Stephon Diggs is that main threat that they need to get their passing game going. But I think, like Ty said, with Jared McKinnon filling in for Dalvin Cook, I think he was really the replacement they were looking for. And I think with a solid run game with this team can do a lot of good things. I think they can definitely win this game by 5.5 if they can throw the ball. But we'll see.
Oh, the Vikes. I'm not big on the Ravens, man. They look pretty bad against the Bears last week. Next game we got is the Dolphins minus 3.5 against those Jets. Over under 38.5. What's your thoughts on this one? Big matchup for the AFC East.
Yeah, it is time to believe in the gang green. Let's go, Jets. I like them here, plus 3.5. They played very, very tough against the Patriots, up 14-0 in the second quarter. Then, Patriots with Tom Brady somehow found a way, pulled out, and that touchdown. We could have the Jets be in first place if it wasn't for that Austin Jenkins touchdown that it took away. But the Jets has been playing great defense all year, and the Dolphins and Jay Cutler just haven't really been able to figure it out. Devontae Parker, I think, is still not going to be able to play this week, and I like the Jets, plus 3.5.
I'm with you, man. The Jets, they're not that bad of a team as we thought. The Dolphins, they had a big win against the Falcons last week on the road, which was probably the reason why they're favorites in this game by 3.5. But I just think the Falcons more or less gave the game away than the Dolphins really won that game. The Falcons were up 17-0. They were cruising. They stopped running the ball. They were averaging over 6 yards a carry in the first half, and they only ran the ball 6 more times the entire second half. That's terrible. And I think the Dolphins, their defense is okay. They have a pretty good secondary. I just think the Jets are getting the points. I mean, the Jets are 3-1 straight up the last 4 at Miami. They're 14-4 against the last 18 against the Dolphins. I think that Ajayi had his best game of the year, but I expect the Jets to try and shut him down and let Jay Cutler beat him. And I think the Jets score enough, and they cover the 3.5 here.
Yeah, I'm going with the Jets again. Last week it was kind of a risky bet taking the Jets plus 9.5, but that one paid off. So I think I'm gonna have to go with the Jets plus 3.5 here again. I think when you look at this Jets team, they really have started to show that their defense has become a lot more solid. I think that the Dolphins' offense, I think it's not really being talked about, but their offense is probably one of the 5 worst in the NFL right now. Like Jay Ajayi, I think they're averaging like 80 yards rushing per game, which isn't great, especially with someone who had like 200-yard games last year in Jay Ajayi. So this offensive line's been slacking. Also, a stat that I saw that I liked is the Jets are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 road games against the Dolphins. And I think that this is the best Jets team we've seen probably in those last 5 games. So I think the Jets getting points here at 3.5. I think I'm going to take them.
Yeah, man. The Jets getting points against Dolphins, especially 3.5.
Especially when they won 20-6, right? The first game, like they played.
Give me it. Yes, sir. All right. Well, next up, I'm going to stay in the AFC East. Look at the Bills minus 3.5 against the Bucks. No over-under for this one. It's not even on the spread on the cards yet. We had to find this one online. But Bucks 3.5, getting 3.5. You taking them, Ty?
Ooh. Let's go Bills. Bills have one of the best defenses, I have to say, in the league. They've been playing absolutely terrific this entire year, keeping them in games, able to hold the Falcons to 17 points. And the Bucks I was very high on them going into this year, but they've just not been able to prove it to me. And plus, Jameis is probably not going to be able to go this week. So with
Jameis is playing.
Jameis is playing.
It's announced today that he is playing.
Yeah, but I want to take my chances with a hurt Jameis against this very tough Bills defense. So I would take the Bills minus 3.5.
See, this is maybe a lesson I should have learned last week, but I said screw it. Let's go Bucks. I'm not sold on the Bills. They haven't been great through the air, and they're playing pretty solid rushing defense. They're ranked 12th right now, the Bucks, against the run. And the Bucks have been throwing the ball really well. They're second in passing, and the Bills' secondary is 20th. So I expect that matchup to be exposed a little bit. I think the Bucks are going to keep throwing the ball through the air, try and score, and their defense that is hyped up to be this season shows up maybe for the first time this year. That I really like the Bucks then this week, but 3.5, I'll take the points. I think it's going to be a close game, and I think the Bucks might steal one here.
Yeah, this is a tough game because if Jameis plays which I saw he is playing, but I think he hasn't even thrown a football yet. Like he hasn't even started throwing yet. Like they've been holding him off. So I mean, you think about it, it's Friday. So he might have thrown a couple days. Like he might have thrown yesterday a little bit, but like going into a Sunday game, like with him really not throwing the football with a shoulder joint or AC joint sprain, it's not looking great. And their backup quarterback is Ryan Fitzpatrick, someone who has been absolutely dominated by the Bills defense over the last few years when he played for the Jets. So I think I'm going to have to go with the Bills minus 3.5 here. I think they're going to win. I think with a hurt Jameis playing in Buffalo, which a lot of teams struggle to play in Buffalo because their home atmosphere, I think this Buffalo team's been looking like they've started to elevate a little bit. So I think I'm going to take the Bills -3 here. 3.5. How about?
Let's go, Jabu. I believe in him.
Oh, he's hurt. What is he going to do?
I believe in my boy. Where my dog's at? All right, next game up, we got the Panthers -3.5 at the Bears. Over in this one's 40.5. Panthers coming off a loss to the Eagles on Thursday night. They got 10 days rest. Bears, big win against the Ravens last week on the road. Now that they're home. You said that the Bears defense plays better at home. I don't know. What do you think, Zai?
I realize Bears play better defense at home here, but I just think that Cam and the Panthers, they're just a lot better team than the Bears, and I think they might put up like 30 points on the Bears this week because I just don't believe in the Bears defense, and I just think Mitch is just going to have a hard time, a very hard time against this Panthers like secondary. Mitch has been throwing less than 50% this year and less than 7 yards a pass, and I really don't see them able to find a way to win this game.
Yeah,
Panthers team.
I agree. The Bears, this is a tough game for them. The Panthers have looked really good lately. They've finally found their groove offensively. Against Philly, Cam Newton threw 3 picks. He didn't look like himself, but the Bears do not have the Eagles defense or front seven to get pressure on them. A couple things that I read is the road team is 2-7 the last 9 straight up in this matchup. The Panthers are also 5-0 this year against the spread. 5-0 on the road against the Bears in the past 5 appearances. Bears are 7-3 in their last 10. This is too many. Both teams inconsistent against the spread. Both looking good. I think it comes down to the matchups. I think that offensively, the Panthers are going to score a little bit. I could see them being in the 21 to 24 range. And I think the Bears, with no Kuechly, they're going to get the running game going. They're ranked 3rd right now. You see a lot of Jordan Howard, Tariq Cohen. They're going to try and not let Mitch do too much. I'm going to go with the over 40.5 in this one. I think there's going to be some points scored. It's a pretty low scoring. It's pretty low under. So, yeah, I'm going to take the over 40.5. I feel good about it.
I'm going to take the Panthers here, -3.5. I think that, like Ty said, I'm not really sold on this Bears defense, and they are good, but the thing is that the Panthers just came off a really tough loss at home against the Eagles. But the Eagles right now are looking like they're the best team in football, so that's not really that bad of a loss. Came through a couple picks, but he had a lot of pressure in his face. I don't really think the Bears are going to be able to put as much pressure in his face and force him to turn the ball over like the Eagles did, so I like them to cover by 3.5. Also, I heard a stat that the Panthers are 3rd in third down conversions in the league. So that's a really good stat to have. They move the ball really well, so I think they can win by 3.5 here on the road against the Bears.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll take a little break now from our Week 7 games. Let's get into a weekly segment we like to call Saturdays Are for the Boys, college football. We didn't have a great week last week, Tom.
No, not the best.
My pick was wrong. I picked Oklahoma to cover against Texas. They did not cover. Joe, who did?
I think I took UCF, right?
UCF.
Against ECU. They won by, I told you guys, ECU, bad team. 36.5. They won by 40 or something like that. I told you guys. That's it with how I picked team against ECU.
We'll be mentioning UCF in a second, too. But all right, Ty. Recap us. Who was your picks last week? Took Bama.
Took Alabama. They did not cover by a field goal. I'm pretty sure Arkansas kicked a field goal with a minute left.
Yeah, 41-3.
Yeah.
Draw. 40.5.
That's a bad beat.
It was very rough.
All right, well,
this week.
Forget last week.
Yeah,
Who you got this week?
This week we got some winners for you.
Let's go.
I like Oklahoma State versus Texas. I like Texas getting 7.5 here. They've played 2 top 25 teams in USC and Oklahoma, and they've only lost by 3 and 5 to them there. So they play very tough, especially at home. So I like Texas here, plus 7.5. And then Penn State versus Michigan. Michigan's getting 9.5 here. I like Michigan. Michigan's taking upset. Go Blue. And West Virginia versus Baylor. West Virginia is only -9, which is probably I have no clue why it's like this. Yeah. Bet all your money on West Virginia. You heard it here first.
David Sills is going to have 15 touchdowns by the end of this game. He already has 12 this season. Dude's a beast.
Shout out Delaware.
Yes, sir.
And, yeah. And Baylor's 0-6 this year. So,
It's ties.
yeah.
That's
They're bad.
ties. 3 locks this week. Feeling good about it. Something else we're going to add to this segment, though, is I was thinking, like, who are, like, the best teams to cover again in college football this year? Like, what's been the best things? I know in college basketball last season, Elon was they were the betting team that won a lot of people money last season. So right now, I'm going to give you guys the top 10 teams in the country against the spread. Number 10, we got a team Ty picked against this week is Penn State. They were 4-1-1 against the spread. The only loss was against Iowa State. Against Iowa, which they won the last second touchdown pass. And they had a push against Pittsburgh. But they're averaging for the season, they're plus 8.6 against the spread throughout the entire season, which is ranked in the top 10. So that's why Penn State makes it in there at 4-1-1. 9 got Notre Dame at 5-1. The only loss was to Georgia. They're above 10.3 against the spread for the season. And at 8 have a tie because Iowa State and Texas Tech are playing this week. They are both 5-1 against the spread. Texas Tech is averaging 12.3 and Iowa State's averaging 11.4. So these are two both close teams, both done well against the spread. We'll see where that line's at. Watch that game for this week. I'm going to take Texas Tech in this one. I've got a feeling. And then Purdue, number 7, they're 5-1. The only loss was to Michigan. They're 15.2 against the spread, so they've been not even covering. They've been covering by a couple. This is where we get fun now. Number 6, we got Arkansas State. Their only loss was at SMU, and they're averaging 15.5, so they're easily covering the spread too. They're playing a pretty easy matchup this week. We got Utah. They're 5-1 against the spread. Only push was at Stanford, 3-point game. For number 4, we got Fresno State, 5-1. Their only push was at San Jose State, 17 points. The game ended up scoring a late field would actually make that game push. So they could be number 1 team right now, Fresno State. And then here we go. The top 3, we got 5-0. Georgia Tech, averaging 9.8 against the spread. They got versus Wake Forest, -5 this week. Number 2, Buffalo is 7-0. They got plus 2.5, so they're getting points at Miami of Ohio. I think that's a safe pick this week. Pick Buffalo getting points, feel good about it. They haven't lost all year. And the number 1 team against the spread, if we had to rank them, is who Joe mentioned, UCF. They're 5-0 against the spread this season. This week they got Navy at 7.5. They've been averaging covering the spread by 20 points throughout the season, which is ridiculous. They've just been dominant against the spread. So yeah, if you need a team to feel good about, take UCF.
Take my boys. I told you.
So that's Saturday for the boys in college football. It's a fun little segment. We'll keep you guys updated on the top 10 rankings throughout the season.
Did you make a pick or no for the week?
Make a pick. Yeah, my pick's Texas Tech against Iowa State.
Texas Tech. I'm going with Notre Dame -3 against USC here. Notre Dame, as you just said, in the top 10 for covering against the spread. Going against a USC team at home, I think they got not a great defense. I think they're going to cover. I think they can win by more than 3 points here.
I changed my pick. Give me the Tulane plus 11.5 against USF. Go green, baby.
Oh, man.
All right. Let's get back into some football. First game up, Saints -5.5 at the Packers without Aaron Rodgers. The over-under on this one's 48.5. What do you think, Ty?
I like the Saints -5.5 here. I don't know what the Packers got in Brett Hundley, and I'm taking a Hall of Fame quarterback here with Drew Brees being able to put up points against them. And the Packers have had a lot of problems, especially in their secondary and on defense. They've not been able to stop anybody this year. So I like the Saints -5.5. I think they're able to win by at least a touchdown here.
You, Joe?
I'm going with the Saints as well. I think that this Saints team has the most surprising thing about the Saints team, I think, is their defense. I think in previous years we saw that the Saints had a really bad defense, and that was that was kind of what was killing them is their defense, just giving up a lot of points. But I think now the Saints defense is kind of starting to make a statement. They're starting to play a lot better. I think you got Brett Hundley playing against them, so I'm not sure. And like Ty said, with the bad Packers defense, I think Drew Brees can put up 40 points, honestly, on this Packers defense. I don't think they're going to be able to match it, so I'm taking the Saints minus 5.5.
Yeah, I've read a couple things that I like the Saints this week as well, but I've read a couple things that made me lean not the other way, but a different direction. The Pack are 7-3 in their last 10 as a dog. I know usually Aaron Rodgers is there, but 7-3 against the points, pretty good numbers. And the Saints are 1-5 straight up after back-to-back wins. It's an interesting thing. It's hard to win 3 games in a row in the NFL. And I think if this is just 2 average defenses, no Rodgers, I think there's going to be a lot of running the ball. I see a lot of Aaron Jones. And I just see a relatively close game. I don't know. I can't go with the Saints here. Just something in my guts tell me just take the under 48.5. Because I think that's way too high. If the Rodgers was playing, I could absolutely understand it. This game would be a shootout. It would be back and forth. But without Rodgers, I think you're going to see the Packers really try and make this a time possession game and rely on the run and just try and control the game. So I'm doing the under 48.5 here. Now, we're going overseas here. Todd Gurley is pissed about it, if anyone saw that. He's ripping the NFL. But the Rams, minus 3.5 in London, playing the Cardinals. Over under this one's 47.5. I'll start. I really like the Rams. I was all in on the Rams. Cards are 1-7 in the last 8. Rams in London, they got to stop AP. The Rams are ranked 29th in rushing defense, though. And so I don't know how they're going to stop AP. And they look like the Cardinals got a little bit of mojo last week. They didn't like the same team the first couple games of the season. And they're only 3-3. So if they win this game, they're tied for first place in the division. This is a big game for the Cardinals. Getting the points in London, you don't really know what's going to happen. I'll take the Cardinals plus 3.5.
Yeah, I totally agree, Todd. The Cardinals plus 2.5. This is the same offensive line David Johnson ran behind last year where he put up those numbers, and you're getting a top 5 running back ever running behind that offensive line who seems to be pissed about
what happened in New Orleans.
About what happened in New Orleans, and he's coming out, and I don't think there's any way the Rams are going to be able to stop the Cardinals, and I just feel very especially with the Cardinals pass defense here, Sammy Watkins, whenever they play a top 10 defense, pass coverage defense, he's invisible. He doesn't even show up. Their most consistent receiver all year has been Robert Woods, and I don't think the Cardinals should be losing sleep over Robert Woods at night with Jared Goff thrown to him. So I like the Cardinals plus 3.5 here. And Todd Gurley's pissed about playing in London. So
yeah. What do you think, Joe?
I like that pick at the Cardinals, but personally, it's London, so I'm not sure. Someone's car alarm's going off somewhere there. But so one thing I was gonna think I saw that made me want to kind of take the under in this game because it's in London is that the total has gone under in the last 12 to 18 games between the Cardinals and the Rams. So that kind of made me want to take it, but at the same time, this Rams offense has been putting up 30 points a game pretty consistently. So I think they've been pretty consistent, and the total in the last 9 of 13 Cardinals games has gone over. So this made me think that it is London, and teams haven't been scoring a lot in London, but I think I can see a high-scoring matchup here. So I'm going with the over at 47.5 in this game. We're going to see. If anybody could put it over, it's going to be them.
That's a lot of points.
Honestly, it is a lot of points. But just like you said, think about it. Offense, probably match it.
Yeah, I could definitely see it going over. I just – the London, you never know. Sometimes
that's what I was thinking.
Sloppy football, though. But, hey, let's go to the next game. We got the Cowboys minus 6.5 at the 49ers. Over and under in this one is 46.5. Who wants to start out with this one?
I can take it. I'm going with the Niners plus 6.5 here. I think that the Niners, it's kind of hard to take the Niners in the points here, especially against the Cowboys. But if you look at the Niners' last 5 games, they've been within 3 points of their opponent every single time out of the last 5 games. So they've made every game close no matter who they played against. So I'm taking the 49ers, especially at home here, getting 6.5 points. I think they're going to be able to keep it close enough with the Cowboys.
Tom?
Yeah, I like the 49ers here, plus 6, getting 6. The 49ers they've just been able to put up points and keep it close within games. They're not a bad team, I would say.
Not good.
But they're certainly not good. But they know how to keep it close for some reason. And there's a lot of stuff going in with the Cowboys this week with Zeke playing, not playing, going back and forth. I just think there's too much around the Cowboys, and they're going to look at the 49ers and not give them the credit that they deserve for hanging in there with the Redskins last week. So I like the 49ers plus 6.5. I think it's going to be a very close game.
Yeah, I like the Cowboys in this one initially. I was like, I think Cowboys get together, start blowing them out, and they're due for a game too. Like the Cowboys are like last year; they haven't looked like themselves yet. But the Niners, like I said, they play tough all year. C.J. Bertha, he snapped against the Redskins, got the Niners back in the game, made it a 2-point game, and almost came back and won that. The Niners are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5, and so I was like, what do I do? And I started looking into it. Both teams average over 24 points a game. The Cowboys average 26. The over is going over in the last 4 of the 6 for the Cowboys, 6 of the last 9 for the Niners. And I could see a lot of offense in this game as well. With Zeke playing over 46.5. Mixing it up on you guys. Have you guys taken any overs yet?
No.
No, I took the Cardinals over, and that was about it, though.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I haven't taken any ones.
I go a little over under happy sometimes. All right. Next game, we got the Seahawks minus 5.5 at the Giants. Over under this one's 39.5. I love the Seahawks this week. I think I saw the schedule and I was like, I assumed the Giants were going to lose to the Broncos. So I was looking next week. I was like, oh, that's a tough game for the Seahawks, like the 0-6 Giants team. But the Giants won, so they're worried about it. They got the monkey off their back. I think they're going to come back down to reality. They're 0-2 against the spread at home this year, 0-6 in their last 6 times they played a West Coast team. They're 2-10 straight up as home dogs. So I think the Seahawks, they get it together. The Giants are playing a nasty defense. These receivers are playing in top secondary in the league. Sherman, got Chancellor, and Thomas. I think it's a rough night for the Giants, and I like the Seahawks minus 5.5 here.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks minus 5.5 here as well. You see Russ playing at his best when he has pass rush coming at him, and Eli Manning plays his worst when he has pass rush playing at him. And so I just see that's how the game's going to go. I just don't think the Giants I think Orleans Darkwa might have been a fluke game. We'll see. But I'm not quite sure how he ran for that many yards on a Broncos defense that was able to hold Zeke and Melvin Gordon and everybody under like 50 yards. And so I just think the Giants, they come back down to reality. They just aren't a good football team. And so I like the Seahawks minus 5.5 here.
My first non-consensus pick, I guess, against you guys. I'm taking the Giants plus 5.5 here. I'm taking them. I think that all the signs are telling me to take the Seahawks, just like they said, and all the numbers and stuff. But I think that all signs pointed to the Broncos last week. I took them as my lock against the Giants because I was confident. But the thing is what I learned. Huh?
I'm saying, I feel like last week, it was more the line made us like point the sign.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I took the Broncos as my locks. I thought the Giants were the worst team. But I think, honestly, that this Giants team, they're not as bad as they seem. They're not as bad as 1-5. I think they're probably like the best team that's like 1-5 or like around that range right now. I think that at home they're going to play well enough, coming off a huge road win against the Broncos. I don't know, for some reason I got a feeling that the Giants are going to cover this 5.5 point spread, so I'm taking them.
Bold move, Colin. See how it plays out.
It is bold, but you know what? Sometimes those bold picks, I get them right. So I'll take them 50-50 chance.
41. Next up, we got the Chargers minus 1.5 against the Broncos. Over on this one is 41.5. What are you guys thinking about here? No Emmanuel Sanders playing, by the way.
Yeah, I still like the Broncos plus 1.5 here. The Bolts they've been hot the past 2 weeks, but I think they finally cool down, come back down to earth. And the Melvin Gordon had his worst game of the season against the Broncos earlier this year, and I just think the Broncos are going to be able to figure it out again. with their run defense. I think they're just going to yell at and screamed at how Orleans Darkwa ran for 120, but they held Zeke and everybody else, any top 5 running back you can think of under 50. And I just think the Chargers, Phillip Rivers really is going to have a tough time throwing against this Broncos secondary. And I like the Broncos plus 1.5.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Chargers are 2-9 straight up the last 11 games, and this is basically a pick 'em here, minus 1.5. It's even worse than a pick 'em for them. And I think the Broncos, they need to recover. They need a bounce back game. They looked awful against the Giants. I think this is a game that they played tough many times. The under here, 41.5, I wouldn't mind touching that, but I just think Broncos plus 1.5, they win the game outright. And their defense give Phillip Rivers a tough day.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. Personally, though, I think I'm not really sure what's going to happen in this game. I think that the Broncos are probably going to win, but I think the Chargers might be able to play kind of tough at home. I don't know if they can run the ball like Orleans Darkwa did. I think they might be able to win this game outright. But personally, I'm going to take the under here at 41.5. The under has hit 6 out of its last 7 times when Denver plays on the road against the Chargers. So not a lot of scoring on the road, especially like Ty said, no Emmanuel Sanders. Casey Hayward's probably going to be on Demaryius Thomas, so I'm not sure how big of a game he's going to have. So I'm definitely going to take the under here. I think that's the safe pick.
Now we got two big games coming up here. First, we'll start with Joe's guys in a Super Bowl rematch. Patriots, same spread and everything, minus 3.5 against the Falcons. Over-under is 54.5.
I'll let you guys go first. Let's see what you guys got to say.
Falcons 3.5 is probably the safest pick you can do.
Yep. Falcons are 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 primetime games. The Patriots defense is atrocious. They gave up 300 yards to everyone this year and 354 to Josh McCown. Matt Ryan might throw for 500, and Julio might have 2. I think that the Falcons rank first in net total offense, and the Falcons are 7-1 against the spread in the last 8 on the road. Pats are 2-4 in the last 6. Falcons plus 3.5 all day. And I'm going to use your guys' line. You got a Hall of Fame quarterback getting points, take them.
See, that feels like, you know what, why not take the Falcons? But you know what? I'm taking the Pats minus 3.5. It's not happening. As much as you want it to happen, it's not going to happen because the Patriots, I think, are going to elevate themselves this week. I think this is the week that we see the Patriots play their toughest game. And I know that they played the Chiefs week 1 at home, but that game kind of slipped out of their hands. But this game they've been looking forward to, the Super Bowl rematch, to prove why they're the better team, and I think they do. Plus minus 3.5.
Who's been looking forward to that one more, the Falcons or the Patriots?
I think the Falcons. I think the Falcons lost the Dolphins last week. Like, dude, I don't know.
They look good though. It was bad coaching. Dan Quinn was an idiot. They just stopped running the ball. We got Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. I really think the Falcons win this game by a couple.
If that can happen, all I gotta say is if Dan Quinn can do that against the Dolphins, I don't want to see what he's gonna do against Bill Belichick and the Patriots because we saw what happened last time. No matter what the score is, I think they're coming back no matter what, and they're going to cover the spread. So take the Pats here. Take it to the bank. Don't listen to them. Take it to the bank.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Next up, we got the Eagles plus 4.5.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misread that.
You wish.
At the Eagles minus 4.5 versus they need 4.5 versus the Redskins. The game of the week. Let's talk, Ty. Skins money line. Forget the points. That's my pick. Let's go, Ty.
Birds money line. Take it all away. Invest everything. Your child's savings account. Don't worry about it.
You're going to learn today. Ryan Kerrigan. We're going to get all up in there. Ryan Kerrigan, Preston Smith is going to give Carson Wentz all up in his face. I feel 2 picks from Wentz. He's due to have a bad game. He's had a great year. I see that number 1 in MVP. He's going to realize he is Carson Wentz as well. He's not the MVP of this National Football League. The Skins, they're playing for their season right here. This is the biggest game they've had. Week 1 against the Eagles. It was the bigger game for the Eagles. It was more important for them to win, get off to a better start, and get hot. And they clearly came out the better team. The Redskins look sloppy. The Skins, they've played better of late. Offensively, they're getting it going. Rob Kelly's coming back. Going to be running the ball more. Chris Thompson, no one can tackle him. He is 100 more yards after the catch than anyone else in the entire NFL. Skins defense were banged up, but this is a game we need. My dogs pulled out. Skins money line. Taking the 4.5 too. Let's go Skins.
Now, to be realistic, the Redskins don't have Josh Norman. They got killed week 1.
Killed.
Killed.
Mind you, we had the ball in our hands driving down the field, and the only touchdowns they scored when they were broken play and they got the ball at the 30. You guys didn't do a damn thing the rest of the offense besides the first quarter. So let me know how we got killed, Ty.
You put up 10 points on offense.
Yeah, it looked like
your offense is supposed to be the best team.
I said we looked
The
terrible
best thing you guys
offensively.
have.
Kirk Cousins gave Jalen Mills a pick. He just threw it right in his lap in the red zone. What are you going to do about that?
It's not my fault you have a below-average quarterback.
Below-average quarterback.
That you pay $30 million to and be 8-8. You enjoy that. Eagles about to be 6-1, and Ty's going to be crying here next Friday on air.
$20.
On air.
$20, Ty.
Doesn't matter. He bet 50 week 1 to let you guys know.
50, Ty.
Nah, I'm not doing it. You already shook on it.
I think
That's how confident he is. He had to lower it $30. He didn't want to lose another 100. You want to lose 100 for the year. I feel bad for him. It's all right. It's tough being a Redskins fan. I understand.
Hail to the Redskins.
All right, now for the unbiased opinion
Hail
of this show. Obviously, as you can see, they're a little biased one way or the other.
Praise
They don't
on
know what's
the
gonna
warpath. Fight for old DC.
I don't know. I think Ty's going to be trying to – he's going to hope they're going to be fighting for DC, but I don't think they're going to be doing a lot of fighting. I think the Eagles are going to win -4.5. I think that everything he said about the Redskins is true, but they did not look great last week against the 49ers. They could not cover that spread. They gave up some points, but either way, they were in Washington week 1, and that was the game they should have won because now they're going to have to go into the link and win this game, and I think they're going to be struggling. Honestly, I think really that the Eagles' offense and defense combined is going to be a lot more. I think the only thing the Redskins have that going for them is that they're in the same division as the Eagles, and they know who the Eagles are, and they play them a lot. That's the only reason I think they're going to have a chance in this game is because that they're in the same division.
You realize it happens the past 3 times Kirk Cousins has walked into the link, right?
The last 3 times, but that's not this Eagles team. But you got to think about it. This is the best Eagles team we've seen in the last 3 times they played. This is the most dominant. This is the best Carson Wentz has played. Carson Wentz right now is the best odds to win MVP.
What I'm more worried.
That's all I got to say about that.
The Eagles are ranked 30th and second in their pass defense right now, which is probably a little infatuated, but we're going to put up numbers on this team.
Ty, I would be worried
Eagles
if your best wide receiver wasn't your third string
down.
running back.
You say all this stuff, but
your number 1 receiver can't catch a football.
Okay, you say all
Drops
this stuff.
all he catches. That's all he got. All he does is drop footballs. Wide open.
Kirk Cousins.
First play.
Kirk Cousins doesn't need a number 1 receiver. He has 9 different targets he hit last week. None of them more than 4 times. He hits the open man, and we drive down the field. You can't stop this offense. Good luck this week. I say good luck.
We stopped over 30. 10 points, and Ronald Darby got hurt, and he's coming back
first
this
week
week.
you've seen them. I'll take it. I wish they were playing right now. Hail to the Skins. I've had enough. Joe, do line pushers.
Well, as you can see, things are very heated. We'll let you know how Monday night goes because Monday night will definitely.
This is nothing. This is actually a pretty simple conversation for us.
Monday night's going to be very intense. Look for the Eagles though. Look for the Eagles. I like the Eagles here. So this week I'm going to be covering line pushers, which is one of our segments where I look at games that we're very close to the spread or a late score or a late anything here or there, push the spread one way or another. So the first game that I saw this week was the Texans and the Browns. The over-under in this game, 47.5. Score was 33-10 with about 2 minutes or about a minute left, right? So it looks like the total is going to go under. I took that in one of my picks for it to go under, but with the last-second Kevin Hogan touchdown, I think with a minute left, he scores. Final score 33-17. Got to calm these guys down over here. They're still real riled up about this. But a last touchdown with a minute left for the Browns put the game over 47.5 because for the total. Next line pushers, we got the Titans. Had their game against the Titans had their game against the Colts. They were 7-point. Originally, like as when we were doing with the boys last week, there was no spread out for this game, so we weren't sure what it was going to do, so we called it a pick 'em. But because Mariota played, I think the line opened at 8.5 at one point, but it dropped down to 7, right? So I was thinking, honestly, I kind of felt like, you know what, maybe the Colts will cover this game, and they looked like they were going to cover the game all the way up until 45 seconds left in the game, where Derrick Henry hits a block, goes to the outside, runs 30 yards, cuts to the middle of the field, scores a last-second touchdown, gives them the win. They cover that 7 spread. Bad beat. I feel bad for you if you're a Colts fan. That's a really bad beat. The last one that I saw was the Rams and the Jaguars. The total in this game was 41.5, and with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the score was 24-17. So at this point, the score's got to finish the way it's at if it wants to stay under, because the Eagles – or not the Eagles. I'm looking at this. The Rams, the Rams and the Jaguars can't score any more points with 2 minutes left, or else the game's going to go over. But Greg Zerloin, best fantasy kicker in football right now, kicks that field goal, puts them up 27-17, so it sends the total over. And those are the 3 games that I saw for this week's line pushers that I thought were interesting. And next, I think we're going to the locks, right?
Yes, sir. We're going to the locks. Last week was not a great week. We went 0 for 3 against our locks. You know, what I learned, they don't touch the big spreads. We want 3 big spreads, 12.5 for the Giants, 12.5 with the 11.5 with the Falcons, and we took 9.5 with the Skins. All didn't cover, but it's okay. We're looking at we are 7 for 16 for the year at 43%. That's not good for locks, but we haven't been focusing it in. But this week, I think I got a winner. I think Ty might have a winner now. His first pick isn't so great.
No, I'm very confident in my first pick. The Ty told me not to put it.
It was honestly, if you couldn't tell, it was the Eagles minus 4.5. I think that was pretty obvious what his pick was.
Go Birds.
All right. Our 3 locks of the week. All right, guys, let's talk. We had 3 unanimous picks, and you take the Saints minus 5.5.
Yeah.
All right. Joe's lock of the week. The Saints minus 5.5.
I don't know. I don't like this lock thing, man. I'm not good at it. Like I
just need a lock. Maybe you should do your picks.
I just make picks, man. I'm not that confident.
Ty's lock. 49ers plus 6.5.
Yeah.
My lock. I was gonna take the Vikings minus 5.5. Screw it. Skins plus 4.5. Take it all day.
He's coming at me for the freaking Saints when they have the best, like when they have one of the best matchups this week, and he's talking about the Redskins, man. He's too emotional. Don't bet on your team. It's known. Don't do it. Don't bet on your team.
Take the Vikings minus 5.5 too if you want to, but the Skins are the safer pick.
Oh, Eagles money line.
Eagles money line.
All right. Well, those are 3 locks of the week. Seriously though, 3 locks of the week: Saints minus 5.5, Niners plus 6.5, Vikings minus 5.5. That's the card I'm taking a card on. We'll see what happens. What's on our mind? Let's just talk. Let's calm down. Let's get tensions down a little bit.
Sixers opening up as 1.5-point favorites tonight against the Boston Celtics.
How about that?
Take that to the bank.
We were there.
About that?
We saw the process in motion. We were in D.C. on Wednesday.
Kyrie looking like Kyrie in Cleveland before LeBron got there. And
what happened to your MVP?
I bet on it.
No bet. Kai was I came over there on Tuesday night, and he was Ty was just like, "Oh, I got a bet for you, Kyrie Irving plus what was it?
50-1.
50-1 MVP."
Mind you, this is before the Gordon Hayward injury.
I don't like it.
He said it a day before the Gordon Hayward injury. He said, "You know what? Like I like the odds at 50-1." You know, I think he was kind of right. I mean, 50-1 were pretty good odds. And now Gordon Hayward's out, so.
I don't know. The Celtics, they didn't look great. They lost to the Bucks. 0-2. Another 3rd game in 4 days. It's a tough bowl game for the Bucks. And Sixers are going to get a dub here. Home opener. JoJo's looked good. We're going to see Ben Simmons hopefully get loose, start passing the ball more. He still like he was more trying to attack. So.
Yeah.
How's your finger feeling?
Yeah.
On the way to the Sixers game, Ty got stung by a big, and his fingers like just doubled in size.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
He's a little worried about that.
Yeah.
Real quick, skip some World Series updates, predictions. I had the Cubs and the Astros. The Cubs are out. The Astros are on the brink. So let's go Astros to get one right. Ty picked the Dodgers and the Astros, so he's got one in at least. Got that going for him.
I do got that.
And Joe picked the Indians and Cubs. They're eliminated both. So.
Yeah.
On next year.
Emotional.
So
I don't know. I mean, we can talk about the MLB for a little bit. I don't know. I think the Yankees. Wow, the Yankees are surprising a lot of people. I thought you know what, there's no way this Yankees team can go to the World Series. But if you look at their ERA against great teams like the Astros, their bullpen and stuff, it's 0.17. They're shutting out. They've shut out a lot of teams, and they've had a lot of success coming back. I personally think the Yankees are going to go to the World Series against the Dodgers. I think they're going to win. I think the Astros got to win 2 in a row now. It's going to be difficult.
The Yankees are pretty stacked. I mean, let's look at their CC Sabathia has pitched like the CC of old, which is huge for the Yankees.
And they get Sonny Gray, which is another solid ace.
They get Sonny Gray from Oakland. They have Luis Servino. And Tanaka's pitched great against. He outshined Keuchel the other night. So the Yankees are rolling, and they have a nasty bullpen too with Roberson and Chapman. They don't have to do much to get this game locked up. And Verlander's on the mound tonight. Keep them alive. They got both games at home, so we'll see. But it's not looking good for the Astros.
If Verlander can't go at least 7, I don't think they have a chance to win this game. I think Verlander's got to shut him out this game, or else they have no shot. Honestly, this Yankees team is just too hot. He's gonna have to do his best.
And quick shout out to the nice lady behind me on the way to the Sixers game. I appreciate the high beams the whole way. It's fun. But yeah. Anything else you guys want to get in there before we get off the air?
No, we'll just. I think we should shout out the people who commented. Got Bob Boyer, Suns out, guns out. I like it. Todd's rocking the Markel Fultz jersey. I like it. I forgot to shoot free throws first, but it's all right.
Kimani's killing you. You just skip that one, Jeff.
Thanks, Nori. I appreciate it. Except for the year. Dave, shout out to you. Bet with the boys. Nori's talking about Nori comment a couple other things.
He thinks the Titans are gonna blow out the Browns.
I don't know, Nori. It seems too good to be true. I don't know.
The Browns stink.
The Browns do stink, though. He is right about that. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
All right, guys, let's get out of here real quick. Let's give a quick shout out to everyone else at NGSC Sports. Make sure to go check out our website. There'll be an article I'm posting tomorrow. It's about Chris Paul and Houston and how they stack up against the Western Conference now. Make sure to check out our videos on demand. On Tuesdays, we have the NGSC Sports Weekly. It's a weekly flagship show talking all things sports. On Wednesdays, we have the NFL West Recess featuring Shaquan Crosky from the flagship show, talking about all things NFL West Coast. Thursdays, we have 3 Count Thursday, so a wrestling podcast. Be sure to catch that. On Fridays, it's Bet with the Boys. And on Saturdays, we have In the Batter's Box, which is our weekly baseball podcast here. So be sure to check that out. Big things happening over here at NGSC Sports. And everyone here at Bet with the Boys, be sure to check us out on YouTube now. We're working on a SoundCloud page. And be sure the Twitter page will be up within the week, too. So Bet with the Boys. You guys have a good one.
Yeah, follow us our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel as capital B, and then it's Bet with the Boys, all lowercase after that.
Same with SoundCloud as well. Working on some iTunes and stuff. But, yeah. Appreciate it, guys. Bet with the Boys.
See you next week, guys.